In this video, I'm going to show you 4 ways how contractors can generate leads in 2025 using some of the most effective strategies available. And I can guarantee your competitors are not doing this. So make sure to stick around to see which one of them worked the best. By the end of this video, you're going to hear number 1, what all 4 strategies are, number 2, the pros and cons of each, and number 3, my favorite method out of those that helped my roofing client generate 4 new jobs in their first 60 days. So make sure you stick around to hear which one worked best for them. Now, I do this for several companies already. So if you'd rather skip the trial and error and have success with your ads instead of experiencing difficulties like a lot of companies do using my favorite method, click the link below in my description and my team and I will be happy to chat with you in further detail. Let's go ahead and dive right in. The first option, Google pay-per-click ads, or PPC, as I'm sure you're going to hear it called pretty often. It's a great way for you to get your business up and running really quickly. So my first pro regarding Google pay-per-click ads is you can get your ads up pretty quickly from the moment you say, yes, I want to do this, to then being live and potentially near the top of Google. And because I'm a visual person, I want to show you an example of what a Google pay-per-click ad looks like. So let's take a look. All right. So as you can see here, I typed in roofer near me. And so what I went ahead and as you can see under the sponsored ad section here, this is what Google pay-per-click ads are. So this lifetime roofing renovation company, they are paying to show up at the top for this keyword roofer near me. So this is an example of Google pay-per-click ads. When I type in or search roofer near me, these companies right here are paying to show up for that specific keyword. So you can play around with this and use stuff like roofer near me, roofing near me, roof repair near me, roof repair in general, things like that. So again, you can show up quickly and you show up at the very top of Google, which is my pro number 2, is you show up relatively high on Google. And going along with my first pro of Google pay-per-click ads is you actually can get this up fairly quickly from start to finish. Okay, so we talked about the pros for Google pay-per-click ads. Now I want to talk about the negatives. One, and my biggest issue is you're paying for clicks. So anytime, like if I'm just gonna go and do it right here. So this lifetime roofing renovation, please don't be too upset with me. Click it. So it's gonna take you to a landing page, which is what this is. And so they paid for that click right now. Now, they paid for that whether I click this phone number or click this free quote button and call them, or if I don't do anything. So you're just kind of hoping that people are motivated and serious to move forward. So I'm going to go back to that main screen there. So that's one of the biggest cons is you pay per click, which doesn't guarantee you anything. So number 2, one of the biggest issues is that sometimes the quality isn't the best. So you'll end up paying a lot of money and the cost per lead can be very, very high. So cons to recap with Google pay-per-click ads is 1, you pay per click. And number 2, sometimes the quality isn't the greatest. The number 2 method of how contractors can generate leads in 2025 is using social media ads, which is Facebook and Instagram. And let me go ahead and show you an example of that now. All right, so I'm here on a tool utilizing the Facebook ad library or the Meta ad library. And I just typed in home remodeling here to kind of give you an example of what social media looks like. I think most of you, if you're watching this, probably have a good idea of what they are. Anytime you see them in your newsfeed and it has this where it says sponsored right here underneath it, that is someone paying basically be in front of you. So my biggest pro with social media is very similar to Google pay-per-click ads is you can get these up and running fairly quickly. So number 1, biggest pro, you can get these up real fast. Now, pro number 2 is, as you can see here, you can use images, you can use videos. I even have used GIFs in certain campaigns. So you can use a lot of different creatives in the ads because sometimes images will work best, sometimes videos will work best. It really all is about testing to find out what works best. So pro number 2 is you have a lot of opportunity with creatives to use to find what works best for social media ads. All right, now the cons of social media ads. So similar to Google pay-per-click ads, you got to set up a daily budget. And so you're just hoping that things work out. So again, lead costs can get pretty high with social media ads. Number 2, I've seen a lot of fake leads come in using social media ads. So even when the cost per lead sometimes are low, you get a lot of people that are like tire kickers. If you're not familiar with what tire kickers mean, it's people that aren't the most serious. So like with Google, when you search on something on Google, usually the intent is there. With social media, you have to kind of hope that you are interrupting someone's pattern of things that they're doing. And they just, whatever they see in their newsfeed kind of, sparks their interest and they want to take initiative now, which sometimes isn't always the case. So while the quality can be good, and I've seen a lot of companies be successful with it, sometimes the lead quality can be poor, and you're having to pay for leads that aren't the best quality. Now, the third option of how contractors can generate leads in 2025 is using old-fashioned word of mouth. I know some companies that have built their business on that, and they've never had to utilize paid advertising because they have such a great presence in their area, and that's fantastic. So the pros of word of mouth is it can really have you set up for success for a long, long time. The cons of it is you really have to rely on other people, and you kind of have to just sit and wait. Of course, if you have, say like you're in the home remodeling business and you do a lot of networking with maybe like a roofing company who can refer business to you, you sometimes have to pester and bother them to get leads. It can be unreliable, I guess is the best way to say that. So again, word of mouth is fantastic. I know some companies that have only ever had to use that, and it has worked fantastic for them. At the same time, it can be unreliable, and then when no one has leads to refer to you and you have no jobs, you have no income, no revenue. So that's kind of the pros and cons of word of mouth advertising. Now, number 4, and my favorite method, Google local service ads. My favorite. You'll hear me refer to it as Google LSA. And so I'm going to actually show you an example of Google local service ads looks like right now. Okay, so going back to the Google pay per click scenario I showed you guys earlier, I'm going to go ahead and scroll up right now. And so you see how where it says sponsored here, and you're near the top? We're not quite at the very, very top. So using Roofer Near Me, you show up at the very, very top of Google here with Google local service ads. Very, very top. So that's pro number 1. You're at number 1 on Google. Nothing goes above you. Number 2, you only pay per lead. So let me say that again. Like with social media and Google pay-per-click ads, you have to set up budgets and you have to just pray and hope things work. In this scenario, you only get charged when people message you or call you. So like this J&R Elite Roofing, if I'm to click right here to call them, they would get charged for it then. If I don't do anything, they don't get charged. So really beneficial. Number 3, you can actually dispute calls from people who are not a quality lead. Now, you can't just basically dispute something if someone doesn't want your service, but say this is regarding roofing and I get a call from somebody who wants like air conditioning or solar or a new furnace or something completely unrelated to roofing. And in my Google local service ad application, I specifically said I'm only specifically a roofing company, and that's all you're going to show up for. And if someone calls you and is not looking to get that service, then you can dispute that and actually get charged back. So you're only getting quality phone calls and quality leads that come in. Now, the cons of Google local service ads, because no advertising method is perfect, is sometimes you have to wait a little while to get your Google guaranteed application or Google local service ad approved. It is a process. If you're going to be at the very, very top of Google and Google is essentially vouching for you, you need to go through a process. You got to submit a business license, show that you have insurance, and business license if it's applicable in your state. I know there are some states like Texas and I believe Florida where you don't actually have to be licensed as a contractor to practice, but most other states you will. You got to have a Google My Business that has at least 1 to 5 reviews. You also have to go through a background check. So Google's going to do your homework. It's not like it's going to be like right away. But overall, Google local service ads, the pros definitely outweigh the cons. And as I said before, I have a roofing client that got 4 new jobs paid for in their first 60 days of using Google local service ads. So which of these methods is the best? In my opinion, I think Google local service ads is second to none. All can be effective though, and all of them I've seen work for multiple businesses, especially in the contracting industry. So like I mentioned before, I've done this for quite a few companies with Google local service ads already. So if you'd rather skip any of the tedious tasks of getting the Google guaranteed application submitted and approved and your ads live, go ahead and click the link below in my description and my team and I would be happy to help you walk through step by step. Now that you've watched this video of how contractors can generate leads in 2025, I want you to click the next video on my screen here that's going to pop up here to show you if Angie's List is worth it.